Another center of attraction for controversy and criticism has been Rwanda's planned reception of migrants from the UK. If I could engage you on that, Mr. President. Especially, we saw a lot of criticism, heavy criticism, after the cancellation of the first chartered plane that was set to bring in asylum seekers. Now, could you please shed more light on why Rwanda entered into this partnership with the UK to begin with, and also what the next steps could be for the Rwandan government concerning this issue?
Well, first of all, the migration problem is a very complicated problem all over the world. Having said that, if we can contribute even a bit to addressing it, we are happy to do that. And by the way, given that migration or refugees issues are not new to us, some of us have lived that kind of life for decades. So we fully understand what that means. The other problem is defining the rights and many issues about migration is difficult in itself. There are rights of people as human beings that should be respected wherever these human beings are. To an extent, mine, personally, my rights were respected to an extent when I was still a refugee, which I was for decades. Of course, but those rights are only limited in a sense as rights of a human being. You are only given the minimum. So in far as referring to the minimum, I was at least afforded that. The other one, let's say the bigger question, like the one of UK and in the partnership with Rwanda, how it came about, this was building on a history again. I like referring to things as they build up in history. We got involved with assisting in migration issues, first with Israel, second with Libya, third, we helped in a small way with Afghanistan, and then there came UK. So this is the fourth. Specifically, let me single out the one for Libya, which we went out to actually ask to help. The other three, we were asked to help. But for this one, we are the ones who asked to help. So with Libya, with the people stuck in Libya, with the crisis that had taken place in Libya, which had been used as a transit route for migrants to the north, to Europe, from different parts of Africa. They are going through Libya and most of them dying in the Mediterranean. And so, but because of the crisis in Libya, thousands of them got stuck in Libya in different towns, and they were in prison, literally prison. This is what I'm talking about. It's a fact. And detained for years, for months, for years. And they were stuck there. In fact, they started smuggling these people who were stuck, buying them as slaves, taken to different parts of the world. So we could see people in cages and buyers coming and looking at who is still fit, not macheted or starving, and they take them to Rwanda. This is the situation. And we offered. In fact, we did that when I was the chairman of the African Union. And I told people, I said, you know, these people, Rwanda has many challenges, we have our own struggles, we are going through difficult situation, but we can provide a more decent living for these people, a better living for these people than we are seeing they are suffering. And we told them, we offered them, and they said, you know, we can bring them to Rwanda and then allow the people in the world who want to help to be able to help. One, by either the countries that can offer these people asylum, they will do it in a stable environment that is within Rwanda. They'll come and see who they want to absorb and take to their countries, peacefully pick whoever they want. Another country will come and take whoever they want to go and settle them. The second, we would give a chance to these people to say, do you want to go back home where you came from? After discovering that your venture didn't work properly for you, would you now want to go back home? The third category would be, if you have nobody picking you to take you to their countries, and you don't want to go back to your country, we can even offer you to stay here with us. Still, it is a better situation than you're having detained in Libya. So, as you are aware, so many have been brought here, and now about 1,000 of them have actually been taken to different countries, to United States, to Canada, to some of Scandinavian countries, and so on. So, could there have been a better way of dealing with it? At least for us, we couldn't think of a better way of doing it. For the others, why didn't they think of a better way of doing it? But at least we offered and saved the situation. Now, with this one of UK specifically, if I may come to that, UK and Rwanda. UK has been facing a problem of people smugglers. Like we had the experience in Libya. These people are smuggled, and some of them sold and bought like commodities. So there have been people exchanging money and to transfer people by force and take them into UK. And it has been growing as a problem day to day, week after week, month after month, year after year. So the UK approached us. And based on the lessons they had learned about how we handled the Libyan case, and even the other two, Israel and Afghanistan cases, and said, can you help? And he said, for us, and by the way, if any other country wants the same, we shall offer it. It's not confined to, so if any other country approached us and say, we have a problem here, can you do this? We look at the merits of the case and say, sure. As long as you don't overburden us with this problem. Because we are a country that has no resources. We have limited resources.
Where do you draw the line? What looks like overburdening? Because there's been a lot of questions around capacity and burnout for the nation in terms of how much you are extending help.
Yeah, but that's a good question. But what I mean is simple. If you are going to bring somebody here and say, I'll bring him here, I look after him. It's not you to look after him. then I have no problem. Overburdening I'm talking about is to bring me somebody and then you say, look after him. Because I have no spare capacity to look after, even the one to look after Rwandese is so limited. So, but to that extent, I think, and by the way, we also learned lessons long ago. Remember when some of us were refugees outside of our country, and whenever we demanded to come back home, the government then used to tell us, they said, no, Rwanda is overpopulated. We have no place for you. So it's like, you stay where you are. So, but what we learned from that, the country, or any country, is never full to that extent. It always has space, especially for its citizens. No question about it. But even then, a country like ours, which is, yes, densely populated, actually still not only has enough space for our people, we have enough space even for others. This is how the lessons we learned. Yes.